stopped at created our subnets, and then for the public subnet we created a public route table and then attached a route that route traffic to the internet through the internet gateway. And for the private subnets we created private route tables in the previous video, and then we created a route that routes traffic to the internet through the NAT gateway so that the resources in our private subnet can securely access the internet. All right, so let's check our naming convention. Not this. Okay. I'll split my screen to two so that I don't need to move from one place to another again every single time. Not this. All right. So we'll be creating next our security group. We're creating quite a number of security group, and for that you can click here, come to the left hand side, scroll down, you see security group, click on it, and then when you click on security group we'll be able to create our security group. So create security group here, click on it here, and then the name, we already have various names for our security group here. So this first security group says dev sg ssh. I would copy it to the description as well. All right, and then select the VPC we created, dev VPC, and then this SSH. Let's take a look at the architecture to really understand what is happening. Let me bring this down. I need to find the architecture. Okay, here we go. So if you look at the architecture here, right, we want to create SSH. I explained earlier that the EC2 instance here is a bastion host, or you can call it a jump saver, and what is the purpose of it mainly is to be able to, from this server, be able to access other servers. So because this is in a private subnet, we cannot, it doesn't have a public IP, so we cannot directly access this even as an admin, right? Our users, they can only access the application load balancer, and then application load balancer route traffic to private subnet. But as an admin, the way we will access is through the bastion host, and from the bastion host we'll securely access the servers, web servers in the private subnet. So we would create SSH security group, and then the reason why we are creating that for this, because SSH is secure shell, and what it means is that we are able to securely access our server. So we'll create it for this. So let's look into that quickly. Okay, so we'll click on inbound rules. Inbound rule basically means what traffic is coming into, and outbound means what traffic is going out. So since we want to access our bastion host securely, we'll look for the protocol SSH, and it's on port 22 by default. So the source of it, right, it to be through my IP, your IP. So only me can have access to it, only you can access the server, right? If we were to do IPv4 anywhere, then it means that anybody can access the server, and this is a no-go area because this is a security breach. You can even see that AWS tells us that the rules will source these that I said internet earlier, right? And this is for IPv4, this is IPv6, So if I choose from here and say IPv6, you would see what I'm talking about. So it says allow all IP addresses to your instance. It says we recommend setting security groups rule to allow access from known IP only. So from our IP only. So it automatically just grabs your IP, right? So that's all we need to do for that. And the outbound rule will leave it the way it is. And then we click on let me create a tag. Name and the value, same thing we have here. All right, paste. So create a security group. So as a first security group that we are creating. So the second security group, let's take a look at the architecture again. So we created the SSH for this bastion so that we can access it through our IP address alone, so only us can have access to the server. Then we need two other security group, one for the load balancer, another one for the web servers. So like I said earlier, we're trying to host a static website, so we are not going to discuss about this here. Eventually, when we are hosting a dynamic website, we will do that. So just for now, just assume that this is not here, basically, right? Okay, so the next thing, the next security group is our load balancer, and our load balancer, as you can see, is receiving traffic from the internet, right, from our users, and then is routing it to our web servers in their private subnet. So first security group that will be given to a load balancer, right, because it's accessing from the internet, and the protocol for over the internet is HTTP or HTTPS. Yes. So if you even notice, right, if you search for anything, for instance, let's say google.com, for instance, you type google.com, you will notice that it comes with this automatically, HTTPS, right? And that is a protocol that we use over the internet, right? So the S here means that it is secure. If it's just HTTP, it means that it's not secure, right? You would understand better as we keep on moving. All right, so let's create that security group here. So click on security group that we have here, and then we click on create security group, and let's go back to our naming convention so that our names are based on what we have already. So that is the SG for the load balancer, as you can see. So that's the name. The same thing for the description. Obviously, you can write a description that this security group give access HTTP and HTTPS, to the load balancer and all of that, basically. But you can just populate this to the description. Click on the VPC dev, and then for the inbound rule, what we are going to do now is this. The first thing, let me enlarge here. The first thing is that traffic is coming over the internet, and that is HTTP, right? So our users can just say HTTP and access our domain like this, the way we did google.com. So let me do something. HTTP Google. You will notice that the S is not there, but Google has already been able to route traffic to google.com. You see what I'm talking about? It still goes to google.com eventually. Can you see that? So HTTPS and HTTP still goes back to google.com. So we would have those two traffic, and then it would be from, let's see, okay, over the internet, to be from the internet. This means internet IPv4. Then the second security group is HTTPS. Okay, and over the internet. Okay, I will just take this away because what we are doing here is that the users are interfacing with the application load balancer. Our servers, where the application are actually hosted, are in private subnets, which cannot be accessed by the user. So that's all. There's no outbound rule. We leave it as all traffic. We create security group. Okay, I was meant to add a tag. I wanted to add a tag. Is there a way to do that? Manage tags. Let's see. Okay, yes, I can manage tag. I want to add the tag. Tag I just giving a name to. Giving a name. I will paste that name I have normally, and then click on it. Save changes. So it has been saved. I will show you why I'm putting the tag. Right. So if you click on security group here, the tag that I give to it are what is here, right? Basically this name here. If I didn't have the tag, I would have what we have here, like a dash 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 dash. So I didn't want to have this. I wanted to give it a name like this. So this is what the tag eventually gives to you. So we have one last security group to create. So click on create security group, and this one is the web server security group. So before I do this, let me show you something. So now our web server, they get traffic from the load balancer. So it means that now our security that are going to be creating for our web server is going to be a security group that allows the load balancer to communicate with what? With the EC2. And at the same time, because we are using our bastion to access our private our web server and our private subnet, we'll also create a security group for that, right, to secure. So we have like one security group but two inbound rules, right? Let me show you what I mean. So if you come here, naming convention, let me pick up that name. So yeah, dev sg web, meaning dev security group web. So let me copy that, copy it. You can name it, populate the same name here. The VPC is what is the one that we created, don't forget that. The inbound rules now, let me enlarge again here. The inbound rules, like I was explaining earlier, traffic is coming to the web server from the application load balancer. So it means that what traffic is coming? HTTP and HTTPS. So the first one, but now the source, where is it coming from? It's coming from the application load balancer. So we'll just search for the application load balance security group here. It should reflect, and that's what we're going to pick, so that our security is tightened. Okay, can you see now? The load balancer security group, that's the only thing we pick. We don't give it to the internet or anywhere, no. So it means that only the load balancer can route traffic to the web server, which is what we want and what has been given to us from the architecture. So the secure access also, like I showed you when I did Google with HTTP, it routes to HTTPS. We want the same thing for our own platform, and then we'll do this again. It's secured, and the same thing also from the load balancer security group alone. And then one more security group. I said that our bastion, we are going to use our bastion nodes to securely access our web server. So it means that for that to happen, secure access is SSH. So and SSH, which is default on port 22. So the source is coming from the bastion nodes. And what's the bastion nodes? What's the security group of the bastion nodes? Is this one that we created here, right? So that's it. The outbound route is left the way it is, and then we click on the security group. So now we have successfully created the 3 security groups that are needed for this project that we're working on. So if you go scroll down and click on security group, you would find that, oh, I didn't add a tag as well. Can you see that? Let me quickly do that. Oh, no, I forgot that. But let me see. We can add from here as well, right? Dev SG web. Yeah, we can do from there. It should work. All right. Yeah, it works. So the reason why we are seeing, let me see something. Okay, this default, right? The default security group that AWS creates. Can you see it says description default security group? So we are not the one that created as configured by AWS when you create a new VPC, right? So we've created our 3 security group that we need to enable and service is communicating with another. So that's it. We'll continue in the next video, and see you over there.